It is 9:27 in the morning. Let's get this.
We have to talk about this. All right.
Yep, okay. The wild and the weird.
What is going on here?
Histories
And mysteries.
I'm Icarus Flora.
And I'm Ollie Evans.
And welcome to Histories and Mysteries.
One of the most horrible crime sprees in American history. Jeffrey Dahmer, an unassuming chocolate factory worker, would eventually confess that he had seduced, murdered, and dismembered 17 young men.
Big topic. I'm very excited.
We are here
talk about
yet again.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ollie,
this
is your episode.
Yeah, it is. I'm scared. Your host, am going to talk about Jeffrey Dahmer. Very big topic. He was little rundown. He was a serial killer a couple decades ago, around the 80s and 90s. In Milwaukee. He was also nicknamed the Milwaukee Cannibal. And I'm going to start with a bit of his childhood. So he was born on May 21st, 1960 in Milwaukee. And he was known as he was known as a happy and energetic child, as most are. He was in a neglectful house, little parent history. His dad was going to school to be a chemist, which is what he was, and his mom suffered from depression, and she was very big on drugs. So when Dahmer was about 4, this happy, energetic part of him started to decrease after he got a double hernia surgery not long after his 4th birthday, which definitely changed this kid.
Wait, hold on. So he did some surgery stuff to his head.
Mm-hmm.
Healthline.com says
it was just in his brain.
Yeah, occurs when brain tissue, blood, and cerebrospinal fluid shift from their normal position inside the skull. So basically, fluids be moving.
Yeah, not
cool.
Very cool of a thing to
so
get.
That probably did a couple things.
That did load of things to his head. He started to somewhat get known as a shy kid, even though Dahmer himself does not see himself like this. His house was very neglectful. There was a lot of tension. His parents were a little too busy. He didn't have siblings at the time, and he didn't socialize with his parents because of all the tension, and just didn't want to be a part of it.
How old was he at this time?
He got the surgery when he was 4, and he spent basically the rest of his at-home life just being sort of reserved, not wanting to start anything, not wanting to be a part of anything in the way.
Dang. And he was 4 years old when he got that.
Oh yeah,
but your brain is still
4 years
heavily
old
under development.
Mm-hmm. So Dahmer had a very big interest in bones. One big thing was when he was younger, he liked the sound that they made. Dahmer's interest started around the time that his dad got some animal bones from under their house. And that's when he realized that he was very interested in the sound. And this spiraled into him being very interested in what goes on inside of living things, specifically bones. How they are assembled, how they work, the sound, what they look like, how they feel. It progressively got worse. One time when he was about 8, he was eating chicken dinner. And very delicious.
Did you start munching on the bones?
Well, he asked his dad what it would be like if you bleached the bones. And his dad didn't find it weird. He was just happy that
they're kind of more country, if I'm correct. So
they're from the
weird.
Midwest area.
It's mid.
So he showed him, and Dahmer kept this for basically the rest of his life.
This information will be used later. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh my God. Spoiler alert.
Dun.
So as Dahmer got older, he was getting very much interested in what was going on inside of animals. His first experiment was around middle school.
Quote unquote experiment.
Well, yes. In bio class, they were dissecting a fetal pig, and it was in a jar, and he decided to take it home and keep it.
Jar.
that sounds gross. He brought it in his house that he lived in. Eventually, there was this hut, and he called it the hut, and he would take animals there. It started with this fetal pig. He would take them into jars, take them home, put them in jars of acid, and just wait a while until it took about a month, I believe, for the acid to dissolve all the flesh so he could get to the bones. He would feel them, he would listen to them, he was really interested in how they were arranged, like I said, and just went on and on. When he was older, he would be walking home from school and he would pick up roadkill off the side of the road.
Ew.
That's disgusting.
That is like, that could have like Lyme disease or something.
He would pick them up with garbage bags.
Oh, okay.
And he would bring them to his hut, put them in jars of acid, and wait until he got to the bone. Now this took a turn around 16. There was this jogger who would jog by Dahmer's at the time house. He moved to Ohio. He was very interested about this jogger that would jog by his house. He was also very interested, not just animal bones, but it moved on to people bones.
Oh dear.
He would have these fantasies. So eventually, the thoughts got very strong. And one day, Dahmer decided to act. See, now, he went outside, he sat in a bush, and he waited for this jogger to come by. Luckily for this man, he did not decide to go jogging that day.
Good job on that, dude.
I don't know why this man didn't want to go that day. Maybe he was sore. That was a life-changing choice.
Do you remember at age 14 hiding in the bushes alongside that road, thinking about attacking a jogger?
Yes. Yeah, I remember doing that.
So that's the point at which it shifted from animals to people.
Years 14 or 15 in that area. Yeah.
So, little backtrack. Starting from the age of around 14, Dahmer did not have his relationship with his mom was basically non-existent. She was doing drugs, she was depressed, she didn't really pay attention. His dad tried.
But from what I know, he was at work all the time.
Mm-hmm. He was at work when Dahmer was younger. He was at school. So just a lot of things in the way of him communicating with his son. He did try though, which is good.
We can respect that.
Mm-hmm. So his basically neglectful. He didn't get much attention. Too much attention in the house. Too much. He started to drink. He would.
So when he had dreams about this jogger dude, was he probably like just absolutely drunk all the time? Like he was
with
just
the
like
visions?
Yeah, drunk
think
fantasies, or just.
I don't think so because.
Or did he drink to stop the fantasies?
Probably drink to forget it all.
Got it.
Get away. Which is not a good coping mechanism. Don't you dare.
Don't.
It's not good.
We will find you.
He started to drink. He would bring bottles on campus, and he would get drunk. He would get a little bit too much drink. On school campus, he would have it with him in his jacket at school.
Oh.
See, now, the teachers saw him as quiet. The students saw him as the guy who smelled really bad.
Nobody wants to be that guy.
When students would ask him, why he called the drinks his medicine, which kind of makes sense for his situation. But also it's bad and don't you dare. Like Igor said, we will find you.
Yes, let's dive into high school years.
First, one thing that I got from this very good book called My Friend Dahmer, written by somebody who went to high school with him, who we will get into. One thing about Dahmer was that he didn't bring a backpack to school. He brought a suitcase, which even in the 70s, which was when he went to high school, Still out of the ordinary. He would use the suitcase to hide these drinks, to carry around these drinks.
I mean, at least he's carrying them around in style.
So
Nice.
one day, he just started, quote unquote, pretending to have like a seizure. He would start to like twitch and flail and make these weird noises, and then he would fall on the ground and continue to make them on the ground. This caught the attention of a certain group of friends, including the guy who wrote this book. His name was, well, he went by Durf. And his little group of friends were interested in this. So he personally would not use the term friend. They became quote unquote friends with Dahmer.
Quote unquote.
They would do
Acquaintance. at best.
acquaintance, absolutely. They would just go with him, and he would throw these fits. Eventually, the fits, quote unquote, started to be called doing the Dahmer, which was flail around, make crazy noise, fall on the ground, flail, make crazy noise.
I also read the book that Ollie here is referring to, and didn't he state in the book that Jeff was like copying his mother or something?
Oh, yeah, and people didn't know that.
Ooh.
So his mom would have these weird spasms, and that's where he got the idea from. She would twitch, and she would make noises, and then she would fall, and then she would blah, blah, blah. So Dahmer started to do it.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Oh my God. For some snip of validation. One time, he decided I have this big idea. He decided to go to a mall.
Oh, God.
They got a couple people to pay to go see it. So
Oh, my God.
he just went, stood in the middle of the mall, and just started doing his thing, doing the Dahmer. Dahmer did, on the way to the mall, bring a bunch of drinks.
When I saw him, I talk about it in the book, you know, we all of the friends, had that one moment where we said, holy, wow, there's something really wrong with this guy. And mine was on that ride to the mall when he was drinking in the back seat. That was my moment, looking in that rearview mirror and seeing him drink like that, which was just very disturbing. And my instincts just said, you know, get away from this guy.
After he graduated and everything, around that time was the time his parents got divorced. By the way, forgot this. Dahmer has a little brother who his mom let him name, and his name was David. And when
That poor dude now. Like, think about it. That poor man now. You were named by a serial killer.
I believed he changed his name.
That's
like his
probably
entire
a
name,
good thing.
And he moved away, and he tries to stay away from all that. Because honestly, that would be
I
so
would.
terrible. So after his parents got divorced, his dad was living in a motel about 5 miles away from his house.
Oof.
And his mom decided to take David and bring him back to Milwaukee to visit some family, leaving Dahmer, an 18-year-old, you know, open house.
Weird
house
jogger fantasies.
His house, by the way, was surrounded by woods.
Oh, no.
Very big.
Oh, no, that's not good.
Leaving this 18-year-old, already neglected, already having these terrible fantasies, with a house to his own. Another fantasy that Dahmer had.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's more.
Well, this doesn't stop.
Well, obviously.
Another one was getting a hitchhiker, taking him back, and doing the things that he wanted to do to the jogger. One time, Dahmer was going home, and he saw a hitchhiker. He drove past, but then he turned around.
Oh, no.
Brought the hitchhiker to his house,
No,
offering
no,
drinks and a party.
No.
Dahmer didn't want him to go, so he decided to hit him on the head and knock him out.
Oh, no.
Dahmer took a break for a while.
So, at this point, he has 1 kill on his record.
He took a break for like 10 years. Mans did not have it going for him, even that. Also, at one point, he was going to dispose of body parts, and this is gonna make you so mad. I know it. He was stopped by the police. The police opened the trunk of garbage bags. Smelling the smell, Dahmer was like, yeah, I'm just throwing out old trash. And the police left. Oh, it gets worse.
It gets so much worse.
Spiraling into adultness, he tried to go to college, was kicked out for
Keyword
alcoholism.
tried.
Yes, he lasted about 3 months. He went to the army, got kicked out. He
Oh.
got kicked out again for his alcoholism. He eventually landed a job at a chocolate factory, which is sad. This man,
A chocolate factory?
the thing that makes me honestly sad about this story is there are jobs where you can do this kind of stuff. He could have been a chemist like his dad. And this makes me really sad because he could have not killed people and
Put the
went
knowledge
into-
he had to use.
Exactly. But no, he decided to kill people. Dahmer had a routine. He would usually go to bars or these other places and pick up guys that he found
Alleyways.
attractive. He would offer them money or just a drink. He would bring them to his
Or
house.
both.
Or both. And he would give them a
Package deal.
drink. The person would knock out. He would knock them unconscious
Oh dear.
around the neck area with his arm. Then he would do his stuff to the body. One thing that Dahmer wanted to do was make basically these quote-unquote obedient zombies for him. And he tried on this kid. This kid got away because Dahmer decided to leave the house.
Oh god.
And the kid got away. So
You're
the
saying-
kid ran away and found some, like, women and was like, help me. This kid was also not wearing clothes.
Oh.
Dahmer tried to convince the women that it was just his boyfriend who was
This
drinking.
14-year-old kid?
Uh-huh. So the women were like, obviously, were like, no, we're going to take him to the police. So they did. You're going to get a kick out of this part?
Oh, am I now?
So Dahmer convinced these police that this 14-year-old, who looked like a 14-year-old, was his 19-year-old drinker boyfriend.
I'm sorry.
And how did he prove this?
How did he prove it?
With the pictures that he took. And the police gave him back. If they would have done a small dive into Dahmer, they would have seen that he had been arrested for past things.
Were you relieved to be arrested?
Part of me was, and part of me wasn't.
Explain.
I don't know. It's like I don't believe I have a split personality, but you know the feeling where you're sort of glad about something, but on the other hand you're not. That's how it was. It was a relief not to have to keep such a gigantic secret that I had kept for so many years. And once I saw that I had no choice but to face it, I decided to face it head on and make a full confession.
So, how Dahmer got caught. Got this guy to come back. So, Dahmer cuffed him. So, he punched Dahmer in the face and ran away.
Still handcuffed?
Yeah, he ran away in handcuffs. And he, again, found police and was like, yo, some dude handcuffed me. Please get these off. And the police handcuff keys did not work. So, they went to Dahmer's house. And they were like, hey, where are the keys? And he's like, they're back there. And they don't let Dahmer go get them. The police go get them. When the police go back, they find a treat. They find the photos, the Polaroids.
Oh. Of all the victims.
So they pinned him, arrested him, and yeah, was not fun. So everything that they found in his house.
From our investigation, we feel that this individual strongly is involved in other homicides. We have taken evidence out of the building by the medical examiner to be examined.
Police removed boxes and boxes of body parts, evidence of what appears to be a psychopathic mass murder. Authorities also took out a barrel of what they think is acid. Police are reluctant to reveal exactly how many victims there might be, but knowledgeable investigators say it could be more than a half a dozen.
So he got
zombies,
arrested.
kinda.
He got quite a long time. I believe it was about 19 life sentences. So
Oh, it was actually 16.
sorry about that. So a couple hundred years. He did not last that long.
In prison.
About 3 years in. Yeah, 3 years in.
Jeffrey Dahmer met his death this morning while working as a janitor, cleaning a prison bathroom. Another inmate is suspected of beating him to death at this prison in Wisconsin. Authorities here say Dahmer died of massive head injuries. A second inmate injured in the attack is in critical condition.
My bit of input, and Icarus, you can put in how you feel. I feel bad, but I also was
I don't
like,
have an ounce of mercy in my body for that man.
I feel bad for his childhood, because he was a kid, 0 attention, couldn't even talk to his parents, so much tension
Yeah,
in the
because his
house.
parents were, 1, going through a divorce, 2, his dad was kind of away all the time, and 3, mother was an addict.
Very heavy stuff.
Oof,
There was
outie.
also another brother. His mom was dealing with depression, and nobody noticed what was wrong with him.
I honestly believe that if he didn't turn to alcohol at such a young age, he did have the potential to go to a good college and stuff like that. He went
to college.
Yeah, but he dropped.
Because of the alcoholism. And he was in, the army, and he got kicked out. So one thing was the drinking. And it was also a big thing that he didn't have anybody to go to.
Yeah, I still don't have an ounce of mercy in my body for him.
And you can't talk about that stuff and have it be taken lightly.
Exactly.
As for most serial killers, I feel really bad because I know that it's not all their fault, but to blame other people besides them.
I feel it's wrong for people who commit crimes to try to shift the blame onto somebody else, onto their parents or onto their upbringing or living circumstances. I think that's just a cop-out. And my parents, my relatives, had no knowledge of what I was doing. They're absolutely not responsible for any of it in any way. And I take full responsibility.
I have been very interested in this guy for
Yeah.
a young age, and people always thought I was weird for being interested.
Oh, no, me too.
But yeah, do you have any ideas for our listeners about the next episode? Do you know what the idea for the next episode is?
So,
What they can look forward to?
tune in next episode to hear about in the early 1980s, to hear about the Chicago Tylenol murders and why we have the safety caps on pill bottles we do. Also, if you have any questions or if you want to hear possibly your mystery in the next episode, check out our email. We will
Oh yeah,
link
we have
it
a
to our
business
website.
card now.
Yeah, we have a business card now.
We do. It's very nice.
We have a business card. Find our email on there or look on website. Yeah.